Have you ever wondered why?
When?
How much?
What if?
Well, you're in luck, because you're listening to the Hypotheticast.
3 best buds.
On a mission.
To ask all the questions?
And get all the answers.
I was born with both guns blazing, and I do think I'm amazing. You got the dignity to feel a little about yourself. I don't care what your preacher says. I got my own vicious ways. Only got one commandment and it goes, I'm killing it. I'm killing it.
Wait, what question were you going to ask us?
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite orc from Lord of the Rings?
It's definitely the one that says, looks like meat's back on the menu.
Oh, yeah, baby. What a good
Mine
guy.
is the very first one you see being made in that scene.
Being made. Oh, yeah,
that's
the one
right,
that
they
gets
make 'em?
born.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you meant like on the special features, like the costume being made.
No, the
It's
guy
dang, that's a
comes
deep
out
cut.
of the whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Is gross.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that
so
guy.
good. You know what I just realized? Are orcs all like they're all coded male, but are they genderless?
I don't know. Well, if they're made like in a furnace, then like they probably are just all agender.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
I
was-
think so.
Like,
Like,
and
there's
They
no
have
reason
like
for them to
maybe
have
more
sex.
more like
well,
traditionally male
Well,
characteristics.
it probably
but
doesn't look. They didn't have to evolve for biological sex. I
yeah,
mean.
but they definitely have it for pleasure.
Yeah, definitely.
Welcome to the Hypotheticast.
Just rub-
My name's
orcs
David.
get it.
Yeah, and your name is,
Emily.
and my name is Mike.
Orcs do get it though.
Yeah, they figure it out.
They must. Honestly,
Orcs
that's what
find
I
a
want
way.
to know.
to do it.
I really do think if I could ask Peter Jackson one question, it would not be why did you make the Hobbit movies the way you did? It would be do orcs fuck?
And he'd be like, I have a special features disc that I never released because I was New Line wouldn't let me do it.
The Jackson cut, release it. Release it.
It's
Wow.
rated X.
And it's not orcs doing it. It's just him talking about how they do it.
Yeah,
for like a lecture.
it's a 3-hour documentary about orc reproduction.
Yeah, very scientific, but it isn't actually the film of them doing it.
No,
Wow.
no. There's some
kid-
diagrams,
They
but
can't. We're not ready for that.
so what are we doing here?
That's it, baby.
What
That's-
are we
Okay.
doing here?
Well, we're having a time. We're recording an episode of the Hypotheticast, and on the Hypotheticast, as you know, and as the listeners know, we play games and we have fun and we ask questions about stuff. And one of the things we used to do all the time and we don't do as much anymore was eat meat.
Yeah.
It's really we've all gone like sort of vegetarian, maybe some of us even Leanin Veeg, which is fine. You know, Leanin Veeg. That's Sheryl Sandberg's new book. She's like lean in and then lean Veeg.
I'm getting vegan chicken tomorrow.
It's a world filled with options, but sometimes it's nice, just like open that fridge. You can go ahead and follow along with me at home.
Yeah, what's happening?
Open that fridge and
Okay.
open that drawer that your mom says is only for cooking stuff and is not for snacks.
Why is your mom in your house?
And
that doesn't live there?
that's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And there's some cheese in there, and there's some sliced meats, and there's specifically a bag of pepperoni, little sliced pepperonis. You can eat one of those.
Can there be some olive loaf?
Yeah, if you want. If that helps your fantasy, that's good.
Yeah, olive loaf helps any fantasy.
Can I just have
True.
the cheese that we just skipped over?
If you want, yeah, that's fine too. But
Okay.
then you can't play this game because
Oh,
this game is called the
shoot.
meat. Specifically, the little pepperoni that your mom says you're not supposed to eat. But if you only eat one, she'll never know. Sorry, Helen.
That's very specific, David.
You got
David's
it.
carrying a lot inside that noggin of his.
Mostly it has to
So
do
many
with
single
sneaky food.
pepperonis.
Like if
Yeah.
we ever go on like a voyage inside David's mind, there's going to be like
Oh
a
my
drawer,
God.
inexplicably a drawer of chilled pepperonis.
Seems right.
And for good reason, because they're so tasty. I love those salty little fucks. This is the meat. And we ask one bigger question, sometimes some smaller questions, like pepperoni sized, but
Okay.
usually it's a big steak, really, for us to chew on.
Mm-hmm.
Get in there.
Vegan steak.
Sure, if you want.
Yeah.
Again, if it helps your fantasy. That's 2021. Hey, if it helps your fantasy.
Okay, that you're running. David's running for mayor of Minneapolis on the platform. If it helps your
I
fantasy.
mean, that does kind of seem like the
Helps.
platform that some people are running on.
No, I do think Jacob has said that in response to questions. Be like, hey, are you going to do something about the root causes of crime? And he's like, if it helps your fantasy.
I feel like he's not even
Sure
that.
am.
He can't even be that whimsical.
Anyway, this is not that time.
So vote for
vote for
David
Sheila
again.
Nazon.
Oh, there you
All
go.
right,
Vote for
let's
her
go.
for real.
We're going to ask a question, specifically me. I have one prep for you, and I really want to just dive into it and explore it and
We're
get
here.
into this meat ocean with you. So if you had a magic marker or crayon, whichever one helps your fantasy, and you could draw things into existence, like doors, materials, people, beings, like literally the slate is pretty open. It's very much like
Just Harold.
yeah, Harold and the Purple Crayon. If you haven't read it, go track that down. That little guy is so cute, and he draws so many doors and a boat, and he sails, and it's awesome.
Pies.
He draws pies, amazing.
So
you could draw anything
cute.
that Harold can draw. You can draw.
Cool.
What would you do with it? That's the question. It's a big one. It's an open one.
Do the things look like the way I drew them?
See, that's a very important question, Mike. When I penned this question, I was imagining that they would become real enough if they were things that were real. But if they were imaginary, then maybe they would stay like a stick drawing or something.
Okay.
Like, because I can't really imagine, like, if you tried to draw a horse and it was, or actually, that could be fun. If you try to
But
draw a
I feel
horse.
like I would inflict life on some abomination.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually feel like
that would be
there-
kind of scary.
At some point on the internet, I saw someone who took kids' drawings of animals and like photoshopped
Scary.
actual,
Sounds bad.
like made Photoshop versions of the animals that looked like that. The horse in particular, I remember being very disturbing.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I remember that. I was thinking of that when he
Maybe
was saying
that's
that.
why
Yeah.
I thought of a horse too, because that's yucky.
Well, it's also something that a lot of people try to draw and is actually really hard to draw
Oh my god,
realistically.
so hard.
There's too many muscles.
I
on
just
a horse,
draw like
baby.
I draw
They
like an
are
oval,
ripped.
oval with sticks, and then like
Yeah.
just like squiggles
With
for some
sticks.
hair. Like
oval with sticks.
Yeah.
My
They have like
favorite
even like
food.
their snout is so shapely.
yeah.
Horses are truly like every
Are you
part
just
of
quoting
them.
your Pony Pals
is
fan
so-
fiction?
oh my God.
They're snapely schnout.
Oh yeah, horses are weirdly muscular.
Yeah, they are so ripped. Every part of their body is a muscle.
Oh yeah! Shout out to
So
horses.
strong. If you could ride a horse right now, would you? That's the next question.
No. I rode a
Oh
horse
my
when I was a
God.
kid a lot.
Too
and
strong, right?
now that I know how dangerous it is, no.
Yeah.
What do you
But
mean
would-
you know? Like, is
Well,
it
like-
more dangerous than you thought it was?
I mean,
like,
I think
what
I was just like,
happens?
oh, riding a horse is fun. But then
Uh-huh.
like, it's really dangerous.
Did
Yeah,
the horse
especially if you
like
don't know what you're
quote you
doing.
some statistics? Like, what?
No, my horse was always really good. But one time my mom got like a really
naughty
easily spooked one. And like I remember seeing in front of me, there was something happened and our horses started galloping. And I remember seeing her like slowly, as the horse was going quite fast, slide like sideways.
Ooh.
And she like
That's
just,
scary.
it stopped
Yeah.
in time though. She didn't fall
Yeah.
off. But there's just a lot of danger.
There's a lot of danger.
It's like
There's a lot of danger.
they are nature.
They are.
They are Black Beauty. They are fierce, wild. They don't care
Emily,
about me.
Mike said it once, but I'll say it again. Put down the Pony Pals fan fiction poetry that you wrote and keep quoting to us. They are Black Beauty.
They don't care about
Yeah,
me.
they
Is
don't.
the
I
real
could
thing.
tell.
I got a rogue horse at family camp, and I was put off horseback riding
It's
for quite some
terrifying.
time. I've not really had the opportunity since, actually. But yeah, I just took off on a separate trail from the casual
They
breakfast
could just be
ride.
like casually flicking a fly off their backside and like give you a concussion with their hoof.
Wait. Okay, you know what? We can't talk about horses anymore.
we could.
Okay.
could.
But that's the thing about this crayon is like I'm worried
Yeah.
that like if I was trying to draw something like I probably wouldn't draw a horse, but if I was like I want to draw a helicopter, like it would just be like a
Yeah, kind of a bad helicopter.
like-
Here's what I think. I think it's very similar to. I feel like there's a game I've played where if you almost get it, it like fills it in for you.
Sure.
Well, it's kind of like search engines.
Maybe that's what it would be.
Like it's like a smart search engine where you think you know the name of a movie and you like kind of put it in, and then it's like you're probably talking
George
about
Clooney
this.
And where he's in a hospital, and it's like, no, it's not a movie, it's ER, the show. And you're like, oh, thanks, Google.
Yes, exactly.
So if you tried to draw George Clooney, but it just looked like a generic human, it might be like just the most normal person that's ever existed, but it would be a new version. Like you would not be summoning George Clooney.
But if you
Okay.
let's go back to the helicopter thing. So like if you draw a helicopter close enough so that it knows that it's supposed to be a helicopter, it will just become a real helicopter.
Yes, the materials of a helicopter.
But if you draw like an imaginary animal,
it might still generate an imaginary animal.
Sure.
But
it's not going to look
might be kind of scary.
Okay.
So as long as you get close to a search term that it knows, and it's pretty comprehensive. Like
I think
most things.
So I think there are a few Harold books out there.
Yeah.
And I'm only really familiar with the original.
Same.
Is there any, I'm trying to think, is there any erasing?
I think so.
So that was the first thing that came into my mind is,
You want to erase people?
well, no, I want to draw
That
things.
she drew,
So
I
this
think.
is what I want. I want to draw a hole, like a portal
hole,
to
yeah.
throw things in, and then I want to erase it.
Oh my
you already have that
God,
blanket
yeah.
though.
Just
From the last episode.
just a trash can that just goes
Yeah.
into nothing.
Wait, so what do you
Or
want to
like-
throw in this hole?
Like garbage.
Just your garbage? Like, where do you think this trash can? It goes somewhere.
No,
It's
maybe it
another.
doesn't.
If I'm like, I am drawing a portal to another dimension,
Yeah,
then it's
I
just
think
going
it-
to the
it
trash
just goes to
dimension.
imagine.
Going to. Do you
Okay,
think the trash
no.
dimension wants
But
more
here's
trash?
here's what I
Yeah, that's
actually
what it's
mean
for.
though. Like, if I am.
The trash.
See, I don't know how I would do this though. What I want is to be
okay.
able to be in one place and say, I don't want to be here anymore for whatever reason, and then draw a door to a different place, and then I go to the other place, but then I kind of erase it so that I'm not creating all these rogue
creating portals. Right,
portals
right.
all over the world.
You can't just leave them open.
Yeah, I don't want to leave
yeah.
them
Okay,
open.
what if you can't erase them? Would you still
No,
want to do that?
I don't think I would want to do that. Then I can just let me think about what I would want to do. Then I'd probably
I will.
do some.
Yeah. I'll just
yeah.
sit here.
Okay, let me ask you this. If you
Yeah.
could draw a portal, but you couldn't erase it, like, is there a place right now where you would draw a portal between? Like your work?
No. So it's really dangerous if you just have to leave it, especially if it goes both ways.
Yeah.
If it's only a one way, I could do like my house to cool places.
Yeah,
that I
cool
want to go.
places.
Yeah,
Like,
just cool
you know,
places.
like different cities in the world that I want to visit, and nice, peaceful, beautiful places in nature that I like that are not my backyard.
I think here's two ways that could work. One, and tell me which one you like more, because that's the one we'll do.
I'll tell you.
One, thank you. You have to be in both places at some point to draw both sides of the portal, or it doesn't work. Or you draw the portal on your end, but you have no control over like at what level the portal is.
Specifically
like sea level
where
will
you
be
got-
weird. Like you might be so you might have to like try it a bunch of times to get
Like
it.
poke your head through and
Poke
be
your
like,
head out?
Yeah, you'll be like, okay, I draw a portal, and you're thinking in your brain, like, I want to go to London. And London's big, and there's a lot of sewer in London, and like you could just like, you know what I
but
mean?
if I'm like
that's why-
picturing a specific place in London,
then you could go there.
Then
I
I'm probably
guess.
just gonna go
and
there.
that's the part of it that feels like more than just a crayon that makes things.
Yeah.
Is like also a crayon that makes magical
Yeah,
spatial travel. Feels
okay.
like a stretch.
No, see, I
does.
like
It's
the idea
different.
that
I like portals.
No, I like the idea that you can draw it, but you have to draw both sides.
Yeah, I
because
like
that
that,
feels
right?
fair. Like, so you can't just go to like the moon.
Yeah.
If you can get to the moon, or get like someone else to bring your crayon to the moon.
Yeah, right. Send your crayon on a
Yeah,
mission.
but like it requires some work. Like you can't just have like godlike powers to immediately teleport anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like when you were saying like, yeah, I wouldn't want to draw a portal in my home that goes pretty much anywhere, because even if it was my job or a friend's house, like who knows how long that friend will live there, or how long I will live in this apartment.
Yeah.
And so
and if
like
it's unerasable,
Right.
then
yeah, exactly. So, but I was like, I was like, you know, I have a 45-minute commute most days when I'm not working online, which is this year I am. If I just went to like some weird isolated, I guess there aren't really any forests, but like like somewhere where there's like, I don't know, like an alley or somewhere like a couple blocks from my house and then draw the portal like somewhere nearby to where like my job, then that wouldn't really mess things up too bad. Like there might be people that go through it,
outside,
but they would just end up like in another city
that's
park
a really
or
good
something.
point.
And then so if anyone abused it would just be like, oh, now I can go to Shakopee. And they would be like okay, I'm not in someone's home though. So it's like I just went to Shakopee quickly.
Exactly. Put them in public places.
So for me, it's convenient, but for most people, like they're not going to be able to abuse it.
I mean, you could just label it.
This goes to Shakopee.
And then if someone goes through and they're like, I don't want to be here, they just go back through and they're fine.
I feel like actually like, but I think what would happen is people would find out and then they would find out that you drew it.
Yeah,
and then
true.
it would like, there'd be a lot of people that would want to use it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picturing. It's like a subway station.
Yeah. Which actually could be, I mean, you just got to figure out the logistics.
Honestly, then you could just create better public transportation
which we
in the metro
need.
area.
Oh
that would
God.
actually be dope. Let's do that.
That'd be like my job.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's
I could,
amazing.
Yeah.
Join the Department of Public Works.
He doesn't deserve to have his last name pronounced.
Edge.
Okay, so other things I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Cool shoes.
Is that related
Dude,
to
hell
this,
yeah.
or were you just thinking about cool shoes?
This is the part of the podcast where we talk about other cool things we're thinking
So,
about.
I am stressed
Shoes,
out right
though.
now about shopping because
For clothes.
there are things that I really need.
Oh, okay.
And this year has just been kind of like, well, I'm not going to go shopping. So there's that. I know a lot of people have, and no judgment. That is not where I've been.
Right.
And now I am at a place immunologically where I feel comfortable doing that. And I have like things that I just need.
Right.
But it sounds exhausting and time consuming and I used to really enjoy it. And like shopping online is obviously been the only option this year.
Right.
But that also is super annoying because if it doesn't,
It has its
that's the
other,
thing. Like I really want to go in
trade-off.
person because then you get to try things on and then you get to know.
Yeah, you get to know.
But I'm still also really overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
So if you could if I could just draw them and then
And
like
then if they're bad, you throw them in your trash hole.
right.
You're good.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a question. What if I draw a pair of shoes and I'm like, oh shoot, I actually need them to be a half size smaller. Could I just like edit it?
Absolutely. I love that. Yep. But only things that you've drawn, not other things, I think. I don't think you could.
Oh, sure. Like I couldn't like make this couch shorter or whatever. Yeah. No.
That's what I would say.
Right. Okay, that's cool.
You could
I like
add
that.
to things. Like if you're like, I want this couch to have another chair on its end, like you
but I
could draw
can't-
one, but you can't stretch or modify the things
Totally.
that
You could
you
draw
haven't created.
a chainsaw and cut the couch up.
True.
Yeah, that's the exciting thing is like you draw something and
If
all of a
I'm-
sudden, bam, that's valuable. That's just really valuable.
Here's my question.
Unlimited
If you
riches.
drew some really cute shoes
Yeah.
and your friends was like, where'd you get those? You'd be like, I drew them. And then your friend's like, can you draw me some? Like, again, it's like those
Do I
portals.
have to tell people?
You don't have to, but I think your friends will ask, and I think you'll probably tell them.
Yeah,
What if
you
you
know
didn't?
me.
And so,
I was gonna pretend like I was gonna not tell
you
anybody.
think
Oh, you're
you'd
right.
start like a little Etsy business?
Ooh.
Because I feel like this has the potential to explode like the portal business did.
Well, careful, because what you did was not a portal business, but a portal public service, which is great. And I feel like we have to be careful with.
We do.
Like, oh, we got a magic
but I'm not
thing.
drawing. But
and
I
like,
got my full-time job of drawing portals.
yeah, and that's
I'm
awesome.
getting paid.
Yeah, and that's good. Like you deserve to live for doing that very
Yeah,
important work.
I do.
And like
I
using
don't
the
deserve
crayon.
to live.
Nope. That's where I'm getting. I just don't want us to immediately jump to like, how could I exploit this for wealth?
No,
Yeah,
and the
well,
thing
that's why I was-
is, the
I
thing
was-
is, like,
it
I
was a
don't think I would
cautionary
want
question.
to do that. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think it's one thing if you like really like making jewelry and your friends want to buy your jewelry and then other people want to buy it, so you make an Etsy store.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, if I had some friends who were like, "Oh, I really like those shoes," like, I would maybe do like some special orders, but.
Some special orders.
If it like
Yeah.
if I don't think I could first of all like create with my brain and crayon shoes that were like so deeply sought after that people were like clamoring for them and like begging me to make them some.
Might have to practice quite a
But
bit.
if for some reason I did, I don't feel like it would be too difficult to just be like, no. Like just be like, no, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
You can just make it. You can be like, the crayon only works for stuff for me.
The crayon
the
knows
crayon
it's
will
for
only
me.
make cool shoes for people who are cool enough to wear them.
Oh, wow.
So let's try. Oh, it's
Oh
not
my
working.
God. You're not worthy.
Well, here are some flip flops,
Yeah.
I guess.
I made you
Here's
these
a weird looking
Crocs.
horse.
Can you wear
The
this?
Riding
crayon
around.
just makes what you deserve.
You invent this whole religion about how the crayon is like some kind of divination.
I would want it
method.
to be. I would want it to be. I know I'm not great at keeping secrets and not telling people things, but I would want this to be a little bit more on the DL.
Okay. Would you draw your immediate family things?
Oh, I thought you meant like, would you draw Tanner?
Like draw my immediate family. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
What would you draw for Edie?
Yeah, what would you
she
give
want?
her?
Little Edie.
Bunnies.
Like real
Like
ones?
bunnies.
What are you going to do with
Maybe
this
sometimes.
Yeah,
Then just
then
like
you
let them
have
out into the
bunnies.
world. Like let them out into the
You're
world.
going to throw them in the trash dimension?
So like we see bunnies on our walks.
Yeah.
And they're usually like several yards
pretty far
away,
away,
just
yeah.
like still staring at us. And
Yeah.
she gets so excited. And she's always like, hop, hop. And
She
I'm like,
commands
well,
it to hop.
I can't make it hop. And I would really love it if I could be like, here is a bunny. Look at this bunny. And then be like, okay, no, I'm going to put it outside.
And you could make sure to draw bunnies that would probably hop.
Yeah.
Like some
or
real
actually,
hoppy
mainly I would
ones.
probably just buy her like clothes that fit. Because that's challenging.
I like you just said bye.
You said bye.
When,
yeah.
when we're talking
Oh,
about
whoops.
drawing,
It's fair,
Okay,
right?
so what I'm
literally-
actually
you're
doing
literally
is
thinking like,
buying.
how will this do things that are
How will
just
this
like things I
replace
could
me
actually
spending
do?
money?
Well,
Yes.
well, I do think that's actually something that I thought about was like things that are extremely valuable.
Yeah.
Sure.
You drawing
scarce.
them, right? Or scarce for a like not for a reason that is like I'm going to draw elephant tusks and
Can I-
sell them on the
could I
black
draw
market.
Could you draw like
gasoline? I could
affordable
draw fossil
housing?
fuels.
Yeah, like maybe
a
like,
barrel of gas.
You could theoretically solve energy problems on a small scale by
Yeah.
drawing a barrel of gasoline.
What if
Or-
I went to one of the sites where they're building luxury apartments and I just made it like normal apartments that are affordable for
But see, now
citizens
you're
of
changing something that
Minneapolis?
exists.
Yeah, right. But it was a site that didn't exist already,
not-
and
it's
she
the
just quick
apartment isn't
drew,
built yet.
apartments. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Just
it's
a
so
site.
silly. There's just like
Oh my
affordable-
God.
and it
No,
says
that's amazing.
affordable on the side, so they
Yes.
know that it's affordable.
Yes.
Question: Why not just go around the city drawing apartments? And
Well, that's
people
the
can
thing.
just
Maybe I
live
could
in
just
them?
find an empty lot
Like,
instead of
and
a
then
place that's already being developed.
They can bulldoze, but they probably can't bulldoze as fast as you can draw new ones.
Ho-ho.
And then all of a sudden, we've solved our housing problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Bam. Clearly, I'm showing my hand about what I would do with this thing.
Draw affordable
which is
housing?
like draw things people need.
Yeah,
for
no, I
free.
mean that's a
Like,
great
that they
like
should
things
have.
that are scarce.
Yeah, that
but,
shouldn't
like-
be scarce.
Well, and I think the other thing is like maybe apartments would be hard to draw.
Yeah,
like
oh,
it would be kind of time
yeah.
consuming and like complicated. But like food,
But food, I could draw food.
like you could spend an 8-hour workday
yeah,
drawing food, and like
drawing food.
how many people could you feed with
I could
that?
draw a lot of food. I could draw more food than I can grow. That's for sure.
Clean water.
Draw clean water.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah. See,
Can I-
exactly. Like,
okay,
you-
here's my question about
Yeah,
how
yeah,
this
yeah.
crayon works.
Okay.
Like clearly it can sense your intention.
Yeah, in some way.
And so like what if instead of like drawing a bunch of individual sandwiches, I just like
You drew a
I just like
sandwich
drew a giant box and it was like this box is full of sandwiches.
1,000
And we just
sandwiches.
opened it up.
Does that
And
work?
I don't know. I don't know. See,
Then I could just spend like 1 hour like
Yeah.
just drawing a big
Well,
box
that
full
is
of
the
food.
question, because I think here's my feeling, and you can feel free to say no to this, but I think what you would have to do is draw a recognizable clip art version of a bag of rice. It could be giant, but it would have to be like something that the crayon can recognize is a big version of that thing.
so I could draw a
You
big
could draw like
sandwich.
a Subway, like a
That's what I was
Subway
gonna say,
restaurant,
or like
No,
a
but
then it
food
would be
truck.
then it
filled
would
with
just
the
be part
food.
of the Subway chain. Like it wouldn't be free.
Well, yeah, I know, but that's the way to get all that food. Then you could just steal all that food or something. Like you would have to draw a big, like a Subway truck that was delivering the food would have all of it inside it. You know, something
But
like that.
that's like drawing a
You know
box.
what I mean?
Like if I drew a
Kind
truck,
of, but a truck
like
with a
there's-
Subway logo on the
so I can just draw any truck that has any logo. It's full of Subway
Yeah.
sandwiches. I guess. I also here's and there's also a problem with like the people that you're creating. Like if you're like creating a restaurant. Like you got to create the people
Yeah,
to
there's
run
humans
it.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's too much for me.
I feel like I wouldn't
don't
want to
wanna
make
create-
any humans.
No.
Yeah, there's got to be a line there, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but the line between like I can draw a bag of gushers and it will have gushers inside it to I can draw like an apartment size box that says this box is full of sandwiches. That seems like a no. So I wonder what we can make as a distinction in the middle.
I don't know if there were any books of Harold as an adult, but like I think it's pretty clear that this is like, because I think if you try to solve world hunger and like the housing crisis, like, which I think that you should, but it just shows how complicated it is.
Yes.
Because like you could do it, but you would literally, that would be your life. Like trying to build houses for people.
Yeah.
Like that would be your life.
Because if you
like you wouldn't be
could-
able to do the other stuff you're normally
And if
doing.
you knew that you could,
Right.
Yeah. You'd be like, oh,
how could you live with yourself if you didn't just
if
do
you
that?
didn't, it's like a lot of
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Right, totally. But the nice thing is that I think we've established that we are the only ones that can use this crayon.
Yeah.
Like I think that has been assumed, but I don't think we actually said it. But that's how I've been operating. Is that
Yeah.
like it's kind of like ours and we have the power to do the thing. Because otherwise then you could, I assume also, because I just thought of this, that we can't draw another magic crayon and give it to someone else.
No,
and
that's cheating.
That's totally cheating.
They can do it and then everyone has one. But yeah. No, you're right that like I don't think I would have any illusions of solving world hunger, but it's kind of like an abundance mindset. Like if I have this thing that could make a thing in a big quantity that could help some of my buddies, let's do it. But like, I do think that you're right. It would eventually, like Harold as an adult would be like staying up late, big bags under his eyes, burning the midnight oil, like drawing things for people because he's like trying so hard to help. And like the systems are all working against him. Like, I think that's a very compelling, dark adult Harold with a purple crayon,
totally.
which we need. Reboot it, baby.
Well,
You know what's interesting about that crayon, though? I will say, I feel like that does sort of set the standard that you have to draw every layer. So that I feel like that universe is sort of like he draws an entire city full of huge buildings with windows when he's looking for his bedroom window.
Right. Oh my God.
But I
forgot
get
about
the
that. That's so cute.
impression that if he were to walk into one of those buildings, it would be nothingness.
Yeah, that's true.
Until he drew it. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think you would have to get pretty decent at really good at drawing if you were going to draw a good apartment building.
Yeah.
Like
It
not
does
just
establish
the
though that
idea
it
of
can
one.
make consumable the pies.
Mhm. You can eat a
The
pie.
pies.
The pies.
You can make a big pie.
I love that he's like,
make a
I
big
love
pie.
that he's like, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna make some pies, and he makes like 8 or whatever, like a lot of pies.
Yeah, a lot
and
of
then he
pies.
only eats like one piece out of each pie.
What a wasteful
And then he's like,
child.
oh my gosh, there's all this food and I don't want to waste it. So then he draws a moose and a porcupine.
That's so
like
fun.
eat the rest of it.
That's so funny.
And
I
then
love
he's
how
like,
much
bye.
you remember. You really.
Well,
you
I
really-
have it, and
Oh,
it's one of the
yeah,
books I read to Edith, and she's just kind of getting
fair
old enough to like have the attention span for it. It's one of the kind of longer
Nice.
ones.
That's awesome. Oh, I love it.
yeah.
He's like a little Templeton in Charlotte's Web, just taking a bite out of everything.
Yeah, that part I'm just like, come on.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I wasn't trying to introduce that as an idea that you that you wouldn't want it, but it would
right.
just
But it's
it would
real.
just it shows
It's
how
a lot of-
trying to address adult concerns with that kind of magic,
magic,
Right.
yeah.
would be very complicated.
Almost in some ways, like to make it not a burden.
Yeah.
It would have to have like you can only use this for like whims, like
Right, a
things
rule
that
that
you
was
just
like,
happen to want in the moment. It
Or
can't, because otherwise it would get so out of control.
Right.
You can't even just be like, well, I want to help my neighborhood, and then I want to help my city,
Right.
And then people from the neighboring cities would be like, well, why not up? Like it just would explode.
Yeah.
Yep. It would be a great exercise in setting boundaries and saying no.
But then you would be like, you would always be like, I could do more.
Yeah.
It would
but
be tough.
But it would be a limited amount.
No, but you could save lives that you're not saving if you ever set a limit. Like you would always
Yeah.
be like, I could have
Right.
made more
Yeah.
food.
Yeah, I could have made more food.
I mean, what you would have to do is like push yourself to the limits till where you literally couldn't.
Yeah.
And that would be the only
You'd
way.
be like, this is it.
Although
Although.
there are a lot of like billionaires who don't seem to be losing sleep over all the things they could do.
Draw a hole inside of their money bins. Draw a hole.
I'm just saying, like, I actually do
yeah.
think it would be easy to stop seeing all the things that you could do.
Especially if I were
If you
exhausted
wanted
for
to.
16 hours a day
Yeah.
and my wrist broke because I was drawing things
Well, I think
constantly.
what you would want to try to figure out. I don't think we ever quite figured out like the subway truck dilemma. Like, is it full of
that's-
subways?
Is it in there?
I feel like
or
maybe a
not?
giant pie is a good way to go.
Or
I
like,
could
how do you draw
pie.
like the root of things? Like if you draw like a filtering system for water.
Right. Like
Can
I
you
could
draw
figure
that
out, I
once?
could figure out what that looks like.
And then you're like,
Or like a well.
peace, this community gets clean water now and bye.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Like I can't.
like if
figure
you
out
can
your
get to the root
government,
of
but-
things and like try to create things that are like one time or
Yeah.
rare.
Super valuable things
Right,
too.
like farms, gardens,
Yeah.
like things like that are actually the root of it. It's not like a building; it's like a thing
Right.
that is-
Yeah, that's the key.
that is a productive,
Right.
the source of the good
like a
thing.
big giant bag of seeds. I imagine that I would then be, because this would get out, like we've said, whoever did this effort of like trying to help with Crayon would probably be flown around by various government organizations to like draw the thing that is the most valuable that they need, like the big power plant or the big, I could have saved Chernobyl.
Well,
I could have stopped it. Sorry,
I mean, if
don't
you
know why
can
I
draw
never
things like
ended there.
rivers or anything, but the
Yeah.
problem is like I think often the places that need this stuff the most, like they aren't going to be flying you in.
Right.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I was
yeah.
thinking. I was like, the government, like,
Yeah, well, probably not the
there's
government.
a lot of things the government could have done. I don't know if they're
You're
gonna be
right,
like,
yeah.
well, let's fly this guy.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
in.
the government, but maybe there could be, maybe some of the wealth that I create with this can go to start a like an organization that
Right,
specific purpose
right.
is to put me
Right.
places.
So like
to
you
do
have
this.
you have to upfront do some things that are purely to
Right. To-
get wealth.
Yeah, yeah.
So that you can then create an organization that helps you do these good things.
I mean, ultimately, what we might be saying is the best thing to do with this would just be draw $1 million bills and just like, I
Give
mean,
them
that's not
to
real.
people.
I don't.
No,
but, like,
if you
just
drew it, it'd
draw
be real.
wealth. Oh, you're right.
Draw $1 million
Shit.
bill.
I mean, isn't
But,
that
like,
what money
drawing
is?
wealth
Like someone making
is
it
the
and
most
saying
absurd
it's real.
thing, and also like that is what it is. You're
Wait, hold on.
wait.
What about $1 billion bill? Did you guys
1
think of that one?
million's not cool.
Yeah, did you think about that?
What's
Oh my
bigger than
God.
$1 billion? What's it?
Trillion.
A $1 trillion
yeah,
bill.
yeah.
Trillion.
But like,
That's how big our
but that's the
debt
thing.
is now.
Oh my God, can we
not
draw
real.
$1 trillion? That's the question. Like,
Yeah.
can I draw the idea
As
of
many
$1 trillion?
zeros as you could think of.
Yeah,
You put on that bill.
because that's the box thing. Like, why make a box with a bunch of sandwiches when you could make a box that says this has $1 trillion in it?
No, but I think if you could draw like a bill and then you bring
Yeah.
it to the bank and say, "Here's my $1 trillion."
And they're like, it's real. We checked it in our
You have it.
machines.
Yep.
And it's real.
Can't argue with that.
Oh, that's it. I'm drawing $1 trillion. I'm coming for you, Jeff.
Wait, what do you have against Jeff Foxworthy?
Did it?
Oh, I love Jeff Foxworthy. I said I'm coming for him, like sexually.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
He is notoriously only interested in trillionaires.
Yeah, true. Male trillionaire.
He used to do redneck based stand up. Now he does trillionaire. You know how you know if you're a trillionaire?
If you're having sex with me, come get me. Come get me. I'm Jeff Foxworthy. And they call me Jeff Fucksworthy if you're a trillionaire. Come on, baby. Get in here.
It's a very niche audience.
Hey, thanks for playing. Thanks
Yeah.
for
Of
playing
course,
the game.
my
of
pleasure.
Open up that drawer, take that
Be
pep,
Harold.
eat that pep. Yeah, be Harold.
What's the last thing we do?
Oh, it's called No Questions Asked.
Oh.
And it's a part of the show where we ask one question and then no more.
Okay.
My question for you is, don't explain it. I don't get to ask about it. Nobody gets to ask about it. What is one thing you would draw with this crayon just for fun?
A rocket.
A birthday cake.
Aw,
David?
my butt.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Yeah, right?
Bye.
Think about it. Okay, see ya.
I'm marching, cause I'm gonna
Theme music by Jaden James and the Hunger. Logo by Christian Hagen. Edited by David Gutchie. If you want more of our hypothetical content, join our Facebook group or like our posts on Twitter or Instagram or give us some stars and a review on iTunes or wherever the heck you get your podcasts.
Tanner has taught Edie every night when he after he brushes her teeth and fills her bath, he takes her clothes off to put her in the bath. Sure. But then for a second he'll walk her out to the kitchen where I'm cleaning things and he'll be like, Edie, smack your butt. And she'll be like,
what? Seriously?
That's
so amazing.
Just because it's hilarious.
Oh my God.
She kind of knows it's funny. So she's like,
oh my God. That's so good.
It's really great.
I thought I couldn't love Tanner anymore.